Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on Newzroom Afrika, channel 405. This is News at Prime. Now, please do note that this report by Newzroom Afrika contains graphic details and may upset some viewers. Gauteng police are investigating an inquest case after the discovery of a human skeleton under a mobile classroom in MC Weiler Primary School in Alexandra, Johannesburg. The Provincial Education Department says learners were fetching a soccer ball underneath the classroom when they saw the remains and informed their teachers. Officials say learning at the school will continue while psychosocial support will be given to all pupils. The incident took place on Thursday afternoon. For more on this, I'm joined by Gauteng Education Spokesperson Steve Mabona. Very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. What a shocking story. The exposure, children in primary school seeing something like this must have been horrific.
Indeed, Paul, good evening, and to all our viewers. Quite horrific, to discover such. And that's why we felt that the team need to, on a continuous basis, support and make sure that we provide counseling.
Okay, we appear to have lost Gauteng Education Spokesperson Steve Mabona. We will try to get hold of him. Steve, I'm not sure if you can hear me. We appear to have lost you there.
No, I can hear you.
Okay,
I was saying the psychosocial continue to support the school, most especially children that might have, seen the human skeleton, so that they are, assisted. That's why we felt that on that day, school had to be released, and we appreciate what the school management did. And on a continuous basis, we'll then have to support the learners.
What exactly happened? How much information is available now? I mean, this discovery is really a massive concern, speaking to the safety of children in schools, especially that specific school.
Well, we'll leave it to the police to conduct the investigation, and probably they will be in a position to, assist with what might have happened there. So we will then continue to work with the police and make sure that they assist, on that score. But it's quite early now for us to even understand on what might have happened. So we really will rely on the police, but we're hopeful that anyone that might have had information will then probably come forward and assist the police to understand on what might have happened here.
What information were you given as a department coming into the school and speaking to the leadership there, the principals and so forth? Well,
there's a confirmation that learners were playing, and the soccer ball went underneath one of the mobile classrooms, and when they were about to fetch the ball, they then discovered the human skeleton, and the police were then called after the learners informed the educators that they might have discovered the human body there, and police indeed arrived at the school, assessed the scene, and they then, the school management decided that no, we need to release learners because we cannot afford learners that are exposed to such, because it was now a crime scene. So they had to give police an opportunity to do their work, and we really supported them on that.
So how many children were exposed to seeing this human skeleton? And perhaps, I would imagine how children are as one approaches to go find the ball and finds this human skeleton to show and inform the others who came perhaps running to have a look. How many children are we speaking of here?
No, currently we don't have a number. We are working very closely with the school, with our professionals. We should be in a position to know how many are those that might have been exposed, during the course of the week, and we should be in a position to update on that one.
And As we speak to the sort of counseling that needs to happen for the children who are exposed to this, I mean, we're warning viewers of the graphic content that will be broadcasting as you and I have this conversation. What sort of help will be available for these children?
Well, our professionals work, they are in partnership with our sister departments. They work with social development, they work with community safety, they work with different stakeholders that work, that are professionals when coming to counseling or making sure that anyone that is traumatized, they are taken through the necessary process, and they will be in a position to actually, after identifying all those that might have seen, to say now learners are ready to continue with the process of learning, or they will need more professional assistance. They will be in a position to determine on what is it that they will be assisting learners with. So we leave it to them, and they should be in a position to update us when they are conducting their work.
Surely, Steve, this raises questions around safety at schools. I mean, for something like this to be discovered on school premises, on school grounds, how safe are schools, and what are you doing as a department to ensure that there is safety, and that as children go to school, they're in a secure environment which is enabling, not traumatizing?
Well, like as I indicated, that we work very closely with the Department of Community Safety, the police. I mean, you know that all our schools, we have what we call adopt a cop, and the MEC for safety has already, in the media briefing in the past week to say they will continue to work with all our schools, make sure that schools are secure. So we are comforted that our schools are safe because we work very closely with the community safety and the police. I mean, if a school has a challenge, they then interact with the police liaison officer, who is then linked to a school. And then their response normally is swift, because then the school will not be taken from pillar to post. They will just interact with the school, the police that is linked to a school.
And very lastly, perhaps before we let you go, what happens come Monday?
Come Monday, our professionals will go back to the school, interact with those that need assistance, including our employees. We have what we call employee wellness program. Those as well, they will go to the school, because our employees need to be supported as well. We can't underestimate the impact that this would have had, in them. So as well, they will be assisted, and then they will check on how many are those that need that assistance, so that you don't destabilize the entire school, because it might not be the entire school that was exposed to that picture.
What's most concerning to you as a department around this very incident, and also perhaps considering what else has happened within the education space? I mean, learners, passing on as a result of being poisoned, and another incident which is allegedly an accident by a grandmother who had rat poison in food. I mean, speaking to a lot has been happening in the education space, and speaking to children who need to be protected.
I was actually interacting with a colleague to say the education sector now is a replica of what is really happening in our society. We are, taking responsibility of what is happening in our society, because anything that happens in our society, one way or the other, as schools or the education sector, we bear brand of what is happening, because be it all these incidences that are happening in our schools, they have one way or the other an impact in the society. You're talking disruptions, you're talking bullying incidences that we see, ill discipline of our children in our schools. It's an indication that in our society there's a lot that we really need to talk about as parents, as community members, to say, what are we doing to make sure that whatever happens in society does not go into our schools, and we experience many of the things that we see in our society. So we really have a responsibility to engage as a society to say, what is it that we are doing as a society which would not impact negatively to our schooling, because we cannot experience such disruptions in our schools. Meanwhile, as a society, we want then life to continue as normal.
And how are you as a department now going out and encouraging schools to initiate such open conversations, bring parents into the school, and have these very burning societal issues put under the table and conversations and opinions expressed?
Look, these platforms that we are at, we really will continue to utilize. Any opportunity that we grab, we will encourage parents to work with us, because schools on their own, they will not be in a position to do this. I mean, in other schools, parents don't even come to meetings. So we really want to call upon parents to make sure that they go to meetings, make sure that at least there's an impact that they make in making sure that our schools are better.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Let's leave it there for now. Gauteng Education Spokesperson Steve Mabona speaking to a shocking story. Gauteng Education confirming that a primary school children found a dead body under a mobile classroom in a primary school in Alexandra on Thursday.